Knee pain affects almost everyone, but it doesn't have to. The truth is, most knee problems come from poor movement. If you correct the movement now, the problem will go away. So if you want to avoid unnecessary surgery down the road, here are 3 easy exercises that you can do right now to keep your knees bulletproof. Starting with a lunge. Now, you might be thinking a lunge is nothing special, but it depends on how you perform that lunge. If you make sure to try and push your knee as far forward as you can, what you'll do is you'll max out what's called your ankle dorsiflexion range of motion. Now, what we're doing here is stretching this motion because when this is tight, we will see a lot of compensations at the ankle, which will then affect the knee. So when we have a restriction in dorsiflexion, this motion, when someone tries to squat, they will move into something called pronation of the foot because the ankle isn't mobile enough. Now, what pronation does is it flattens the arch and it pulls the knees together into a position called valgus. Now, this is a very unnatural position and it causes a lot of shearing and unnecessary forces in the knees. When done repeatedly, will cause damage long term. Now, additionally, obviously a lunge is great for strengthening your quads, hamstrings, and glutes, but the primary focus here is to improve the ankle mobility. Next, we have what I'm calling a hip 90-90 rotation. When we have a hip that doesn't rotate in either direction, when we try and do any sort of twisting motion, think of like a golf swing, when the hip stops to move, the knee and the back will have to try and compensate to make up for that lack of mobility. So when the hip is tight, this places a lot more stress on the knee. To help improve this, get down on your butt and then put your legs out in front of you. To stretch what's called internal rotation, the leg that we're stretching, put that foot out to the side and then pull the knee down towards the ground. If tight, you should feel a stretch in the hip joint. Now, to stretch external rotation, we're going to do kind of the opposite. You're going to put your foot in a little bit and then again bring the knee down towards the ground. If tight here, you should feel another stretch in the hip, but different than the first one. Doing these will help improve rotation in both directions so that the knee will have to compensate less with any sort of rotation. Now, the last thing we're talking about is gluteus medius strengthening. Now, I like to do this with what's called a side plank with hip abduction. Now, there are many different ways to strengthen this muscle. In this position, I think it's very efficient and effective because the lower leg, we're strengthening the glute in an isometric because it's helping to hold us up as we perform the plank. And then the top hip is obviously lifting the leg up and down. Now, when we have a weak glute muscle here, we'll see the same issue we had before when the ankle was tight. We'll see the knees go together in that, it's called a valgus position. Again, this is bad for the knees, and it's often seen with things like squatting or stair use or running. And then when done repeatedly for years on end, that is what really tears down your knees and is going to cause problems long term. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you could hit the like. Otherwise, if you have any comments, you can leave them in the comment section and I will try and answer those. Otherwise, if you want to subscribe, my channel is all about how we can build a physically fit and functional body that will last throughout our years and not break down as we age.